It stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Oh my gosh, Amy has laryngitis, so I don't know if she's coming in now or not. So good morning, Valley Voices and Vices, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to our meeting today. I am out of sorts because I'm really tired. So let's see what we're doing. We have our guest this morning, Etta. Good morning, Etta. And then I think Amy's going to pop in just a minute. And we have our past district director, D. George Lund, Distinguished Toastmaster. And let's see. The mission of Valley Voices and Vices is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Do we have any unfinished business? George.
I haven't received dues from anyone except Maria and myself. So Zelle or mail me a check. Let's get on it, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, that means you.
Did you say yes? That means you?
I meant Cynthia. That means you. And the rest of you.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to, sorry, Amy's trying to get in.
And George, I don't know why my phone always says that's a business line and cannot do.
I don't understand that either. It's not a business line.
It takes extra effort.
Write a check.
We need George's phone number to do it by Zelle. I'm trying to remember. I think that's all.
Pardon me?
To pay by Zelle, you just need George's phone number.
Yeah,
but I can't
number.
Do it.
Huh.
That is so weird.
I don't know why. Bad I did it. So that's why I haven't done it. I don't know. I don't have Zelle anyway.
Doesn't your financial institution have it?
I don't. Well, Cynthia and I belong to the same one, so I'm not. Yeah, it does. Oh,
it does, but I can't do it.
Oh, George, I'll just send you a check because
that's what you said last week. The check's in the mail. That didn't happen. I checked the mail yesterday.
I will send you a check. I saw your ad yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I gotta send this to George. Put it on my things to do. So I'll
send it out Monday.
Okay.
Yes, we're going camping. So, are there any other unfinished business? Do I have any district news? I have no district news. Francisca, do you have anything from VPPR?
No, I do not.
Okay. And then I think that's it then. All right, well, let me introduce to you today's Toastmaster, Peggy Prince.
Thank you.
Yay, Peggy.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, jumping right in on this holiday weekend for being Toastmaster, I sent out some inquiries to everybody, and I haven't done this in a while. The agenda that goes out really cool off of Free Toast Toast. You just click on that little button and it sends it out, but it doesn't give much emphasis on the question. So I did hear back from people, and our meeting has a few changes in the agenda, like we don't have a speaker. So Lori, I guess, is out with that migraine. So maybe we can have expanded table topics and everything else. I'll talk too much too. But I did get some replies back for the benefit of our guests. Everybody probably knows this by now. Our Toastmaster meeting has actually 4 sections to it. We just had our business portion of the meeting. Then we'll have impromptu speaking. And normally we would have a prepared speaker. And then, of course, the evaluation part, which I think is really the guts of Toastmasters that helps you improve. That's the evaluation portion. So moving right along, with our word master grammarian, or do we do minute master first? I'll do minute master first. That way we can have Jennifer take a break on herself. Our minute master today is Jennifer Smith, and she did reply to me. She said that she is going to go camping to Cathedral Gorge in her camper for the weekend. She's super excited about it because it's a new moon and the sky will be full of stars. Please welcome to the lectern, Jennifer Smith, our president.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So I will keep up with the theme of Labor Day, but it's not about holiday. Labor Day is also about the restfulness after working, if you do not know that. And I have a poem. Is that me? Nicole, I muted you because there's static going on. So just to let you know, if you were going to talk. So I have a poem about working. It's called Morning. The lark is up to meet the sun. The bee is on the wing. The ant her labor has begun. The woods the music ring. Shall birds and bees and ants be wise while I my moments waste? Oh, let me with the morning rise and to my duties haste. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. I figured you would probably be camping this weekend, and traditionally, I always went camping as a kid. In fact, behind me right now, that is a picture of Flathead Lake at sunset. We would spend the entire summer looking forward to the Labor Day weekend. My brother and I would sit out there when he was milking the cow, make these little notches on the barn to how many days were left until Labor Day, when we would all go on these huge camping trips with my mom's family, because I've got 30 cousins. So we don't do that anymore. There's not so many of us left anymore, but I still like the idea of camping. And I'm excited for Jennifer to be out there under the stars. Also, today, our word master, a grammarian, is going to be Nicole Henderson. And Nicole replied to me with these cute little pictograms. I wanted to show them on my screen, but I couldn't quite master that. She said she plans to go deer watching and preparing some special meals for herself. And she will go sit by the pool if it's not too crowded in her apartment complex. She's looking forward to the holiday, but she had a cute little picture of a deer in there and an even cuter picture of a little person swimming. I like that. So pictograms are fun. Please welcome our word master grammarian, Nicole Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. I am your grammarian this morning. The purpose of my job is to be the odd counter and to count and listen and look for filler words that are sometimes used as crutches. Filler words such as so, well, but, and ahs. So I will be counting for that, looking for that, listening for that today, although we don't have a speaker, so it's going to be very interesting today. Madam Toastmaster.
Are you going to give us a word?
Oh, well, there it is. The word is unofficial. Because Labor Day is the unofficial end of summer, the word will be unofficial. That's what I will be listening for. So playing sports is good during college time, but sometimes sports takes a pause. So with summer taking a pause, it will be an unofficial pause for summer going into the holiday today. So staying into the theme, keeping up with the theme today, the word is unofficial. I will put it in the chat. Thank you for the reminder, George. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nicole. Unofficial. We'll have to squeeze that one in there. In addition to going camping, as I've matured, I kind of like glamorous things. So there's this new trend, it's called glamping. So I figured since I'm not going anywhere and I don't have that many people around me anymore, and I like glamour stuff, but camping makes me feel right at home. I'm into glamping these days. So I imagine Jennifer too will probably have something glamorous in her camper, but she is our our topics master today. Please welcome again our president, Jennifer Smith.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So I have been working on traveling this weekend. So this is going to be totally off the cuff, as my questions will be spontaneous as much as your answers will be. So in preparation of camping or going on vacation, what is the most important item that you will take when you go on a weekend trip, George, and why, George?
Madam Topic Master, could you repeat the question? I was doing something else on my computer. Sorry.
Okay, what is the most important item that you would take with you on a weekend trip and why?
Okay. Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. What is the most important thing that I would take on a weekend trip? Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff, but I think probably the most important thing would be that I would be going to the beach, so I would want to take a bathing suit because the beaches that I inhabit require swimwear. Although I would be very comfortable going to a nude beach because as a kid, I used to take my diaper off and run and jump in the pool. So I don't have any qualms about wearing not a lot of clothes. Oh my gosh, I'm sharing way too much information here. So a swimming suit would probably be the best thing for me to remember to take, Madam Top Master.
So since we have a long period of time today of topics and speeches, I just have to share with you, my husband's family they're from up north in Washington, and his great grandfather, it was the largest, how do I say it? The largest owner of a nudist colony. So they very popular. There's a nudist magazine, Colony Magazine, and yeah, so it's fun to hear about the history of the nudist colony. There's pictures of Bruce's mom hanging out with all these grown people, and her cousins, and hanging out with all these people, and yeah.
So do you go to visit?
So what happened was they had this colony, and then of course there were cousins and brothers, and they decided to start selling off the land to developers. So the colony is no longer in existence. So his grandfather actually built a house out of river rock. So an actual house and a pool and everything. So maybe I might share that one day, and I'll do a little research project because I know that's coming up in my level 3. So or my level 2, whatever one it is. So I thought that I'd share that with you guys. So that's I'll share a little research. All right. It is Labor Day weekend, and Labor Day was, how do I want to say, instilled or became official, but not unofficial, work break for the workers, laborers. Describe a job that you definitely need a break from and why. Etta.
job that I definitely need a break from.
That you needed a break from?
I suppose a job that I would need a break from would be the sometimes arduous task of looking for work when you're unemployed. I am fortunate that my efforts have paid off, and on September 20th, I will be starting a new job.
Yay!
Thank you very much. That sometimes it is very tiring to be on the computer all the time with eye strain. I'm glad I will get relief from this at last. And that is no unofficial statement or artificial statement.
Thank you, Etta, and congratulations. I know that you have been working very diligently on looking for a job, and congratulations. So again, since we have some time, does that mean that your hours, you won't be coming, or what are your hours going to be?
They will be in the morning, most likely.
So we won't see you on Fridays?
Maybe I could be here for part of it. Probably be headed out to work around 8:15 or so.
Okay, great.
It
Well,
starts at 9.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the computer froze, so you did find a job? Edda?
Right now it's a temporary to hire, but I'm very excited about it. It could lead to something, but I'm just excited about this right now.
Cool, congratulations.
Good job, Etta. All right, so Cynthia's going camping with me as well, and we are going out in the middle of no man's land, from here to Panaka, in that area. So what is the craziest 3-day weekend that you did that was obscure and adventurous? Francisca.
Unofficially, I don't think that what I will share is that obscure or crazy, but it was for me. My daughter came out Labor Day weekend a couple of years ago, and my kids thought that kayaking was going to be a phenomenal experience for them, not necessarily for me. To make things a little more challenging, I have the 2-person kayak and was responsible for my then 6-year-old granddaughter. The tour guide said, it's 40 feet down in the middle of this area, and I'm just looking at myself in sincere panic. So that would be my craziest adventure, which wasn't that long ago, and it didn't seem that crazy because everybody else was just fine on the river or the lake or wherever we were. But it was crazy for me. Thank you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you, Francisca. Now, kayaking, I want to do that this fall as well. She's all, no, don't do that. Was that here at Lake Mead, or was that at another lake?
It was here. It was a tour. We started at Mandalay Bay. They shuffled us out there, and everything was planned and prepared and very well organized. I'm just not an outdoor person. I keep telling everybody I'm a city girl.
Hey, I've seen those pictures of you in Tennessee. That is kind of not so city-ish.
They don't even deliver pizza out there or Uber Eats. It's pretty challenging in Tennessee.
Well, I do plan on going kayaking. That's something that I want to do this fall because we were planning on going out to Willow Bay Beach in June and it was really hot. And so I figured that I will probably not see Willow Bay until October, November. So that's the plan. And we see all the kayaking because I live right here next to the lake, kind of next to the lake, but I always see the kayakers and the tour guides too. So, right. Well, thank you for that. Actually, do you want to take turns on topics, Francisca? Do you have any questions? And I can think of some more questions.
Yes, thank you, Madam Topics Master. If I won Powerball, I have my eyes set on a Pleasureway Class 3 RV. If you were to win Powerball, what would be your wish list item to purchase? Cynthia?
If I won a Powerball, what would be my item? First of all, if I won a Powerball, first of all, I would tithe my church. I give the 10th first. Second of all, I will buy a Corvette. I will buy a nice blue, shiny Corvette, black interior, convertible, big wheels, and I'll take that baby on to LA and back and see how fast it will go, or take it first on the speedway and see if I can race that car around the lap for a couple of times. Madam Topic Master.
I think you will still have some money left over, Cynthia, so you can
I
probably
don't
buy
think-
a couple of them and maybe give one to Jennifer too. So you guys can tag team.
Jennifer had a trans, and that trans ran into a rail on the freeway.
America.
Hey, don't give her one then. What country would you visit and why? And let's please forget about COVID. Let's not add that to the equation. But what country would you visit and why? Nicole?
Thank you, Francesca. Country, I would say Brazil. Let me give myself an I have never been to Brazil, but I hear such wonderful things about Brazil. Yes, I'm a foodie and I'm a vegan. I'm still a foodie. I love food. I love wine. And I hear that the most delicate foods are there. And the photographs that I've seen are spectacular. I have met Brazilian people. They are the most kindest people, and they can be the most volatile at the same time. But there are so many beautiful aspects of that country. I've never been. I have my passport. I'm ready, COVID or not. Back to you, Francesca.
Thank you, Nicole. Going during the time of Carnival should be exciting. I don't even know if it's still off for that, but I've heard it's kind of crazy and exciting at the same time. And I have one more, Jennifer. There's my during this particular time of the year, we are hearing a lot about natural disasters. Which natural disaster have you lived through, and what was that experience, Peggy?
Thank you, Madam Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. I would have to say the fires. It was actually the last year my dad was alive, my son and I went up to Montana, and of course they're having a lot of fires this year. There's still areas that are burning, and it's hard to imagine a fire that's that big, where all of your acreage and all of your animals, there's no place to go. There's just no escape from it. In fact, we actually drove through flames. They jumped Interstate 90 when we went through there, and we were there in Missoula for several days, and you could not see the sun. It was just all helicopters and the haze. So I've been following it for Lake Tahoe. Right now, that fire is consuming very close to the level of the lake. So I'm hoping they'll get it under control. Missoula actually has a smoke jumper base there where they train firefighters, but it's the scale and the scope of a fire that's that large, that's completely out of control, that it's something you can't really imagine. You do have to go through it. And I don't know what they'll do for future years to try to manage forests better so that we don't have such large out of control fires. I actually think maybe clear cutting would be an answer to some of that, because when you get a drought and you get winds and everything is perfect kindling. So they need to clean up the woods, clean up some of the brush underneath, but it's just not possible in all areas. But definitely fire is a real horror. Thank you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you, Peggy. I'm glad you're here and safe and you got through it. I think eventually, after any ups and downs, there's always the opportunity for the dust to settle and to look beyond it and see what lies ahead. That is all I have for this segment right now, Jennifer.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Francisca. Now, Amy's up north right now, and too bad she can't talk, but I did talk to some of my friends that are up there, and yeah, it's crazy right now up in Tahoe. Etta, do you get the smoke from where you are?
Thankfully not.
Yeah.
I was up north for a retreat on the weekend, and it was pretty bad. It was hot there.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of all the people who are affected by this. Thankfully, I was not directly affected, but it stings the eyes and it burns the chest too.
Yeah. Well, we get some of the smoke from somewhere. I don't even know where that smoke is coming from. And it's disgusting when you walk out and you're like, and it's not even near us. I can't even imagine being where in Tahoe right now and doing that. And then on another note, that I can see, that's another kind of a research topic as well, Peggy, about fires and jumpers and what people have to go through as well. I heard a guy speak this summer, and he was a veterinarian, and he went to Australia last year with the Australian fire, and he went and saved all the animals. It was kind of cool and interesting to see what he had done and helped, and how he rallied up the troops to around the world to sponsor and help donate to save these animals. And we were in a room of about 100 women and a couple of men, and we were like crying because the poor animals. So anyway, I know that we were gonna do more table topics, but I don't have any. We've all spoke. George?
I have a question.
Mhm.
I want to know from Nicole, did you have any of the Ida experience?
What type of experience, George? I'm sorry.
Hurricane Ida,
None. Zero.
no rain or anything.
Zero. God always protects me. Zero.
Wow, you're lucky.
I am.
I mean, that storm went up all the way up the East Coast.
And some strange places where it was absolutely terrible with some areas, and it just went around. There's some houses still standing. That was so interesting to me.
Yeah, Mother Nature is pretty strange sometimes.
Agreed.
Does anybody have any family in Louisiana, Georgia?
I do. And I check on them every day, and they keep telling me they're going to come stay with me. I'm like, I only have a 2-bedroom apartment, but you're welcome to sleep on the floor. That's not very hospitable, but they're threatening to come, and I'm like, okay, Ida, just skip over them too, so they'll stay home.
Francisca?
So I grew up in Miami, so hurricanes are very near and dear to my heart. we moved to Vegas after Hurricane Andrew,
Oh,
which was very devastating back in 92. So it's so ironic to hear that my boyfriend Tony, who's now in southern Tennessee, has experienced a lot of rain and flooding as a result of Ida, which I always think is a coastal thing. I believe that hurricanes are coastal, and here he is in Tennessee experiencing little rivers forming around the property because there's so much rain and it's just accumulating. Eventually it soaks into the ground, but it's been nonstop rain for 6 or 7 days.
wow.
It's pretty amazing. Yes, Mother Nature is amazing in very different ways.
Too bad we can't get some of that rain out here.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like we need that rain, and other parts of the country are getting drenched and we can't get anything to put out these fires and fill up our lakes. So it's kind of interesting. All right. I was going to ask for if anybody wanted to, I'm sorry, that's not my job. That's Peggy's job. So anyway, can we have a timers report on all of our speakers?
Madam Table Topics. Unofficially, George spoke for, because I wasn't keeping good track of it. So that's why it's unofficially. So George spoke for 50 seconds. What he'll wear to a beach. Etta spoke 64 seconds, looking for a job. Francisca spoke for 59 seconds, crazy adventure. I spoke for 46 seconds about my Powerball. Nicole spoke for 57 seconds, a country she would visit. And Peggy spoke, true to form, 1 minute, 41 seconds. About natural disaster.
Natural disaster. Thank you,
Well,
timer and our topics master. So normally we would have the next section of our meeting would be our prepared speeches, which we have none for today. So we've done a little bit longer on our table topics, and as far as filling in this spot on a true speaker. What were you going to say, Jennifer? That it was.
I was going to ask if anybody had a pocket speech that they wanted to give or wanted us to evaluate.
Oh, big zero. Okay. That's one thing I guess we're always supposed to do as Toastmasters is have a impromptu pocket speech. I will mention a minute about it, especially because it's a Labor Day event that from when I was a small child, it's kind of strange. It's really a spiritual sort of thing. We were going to go on a Labor Day camp trip, usual up at Flathead Lake. And I remember really well that I wanted a glass of milk and my mother was like, no, you can't have any. Everything is packed very neatly because my dad was like Dr. Camp. Everything had to be precisely prepared and very military that way. And couldn't have any of that milk because everything was prepared and packed into the camper. And my brother went ahead. The older two kids had already left home. My brother and I were the only two left. And he went ahead with Granddad Marie and their station wagon. And so my dad had this brand new Chevrolet pickup truck. And we were pulling the trailer with that. And then I could hear, I'd fallen asleep with Missy, the dog, at my feet. And I could hear my mother screaming, Bud, no. And then the next thing I knew, my head hit the glove compartment. We didn't have seat belts back then. And that was it. I could hear the dog. I'd landed on top of the dog. But what had happened is apparently my dad had swerved to miss some drunk people that were swerving all over the road. And all it did was scrape the side of his brand new Chevrolet truck, and it turned the trailer upside down into the side of the road, and it was still attached to the truck. And I remember I kept looking at that thinking, why didn't the trailer pull the truck over? But it didn't. And so all we did was we had people come and help. And I remember standing around there crying, and my dad kept saying, it's okay. Nobody died. And we just kind of tipped the trailer back upright and pulled it into Ronan was the closest town. And then we showed up at the campsite with absolutely nothing. That we had a mattress in the back. So Granddad Marie and my brother could not believe that we showed up with nothing. We're camping and you have nothing? Yeah, it can't be. We really didn't have anything with us. It was all in that packed in that trailer. So the next day for breakfast, we got to go to a restaurant. And of course, I would do anything my brother did. I had waffles with a milkshake. We got away with it because it was this disastrous camping trip. But my dad was bitter about that for years because I guess he didn't get reimbursed on his insurance. And years later, when my dad passed away, I got in a dream. He came to me in the aftermath of that wreck and said, nobody died. Nobody died. And I knew it was him, even though it was his way of communicating with me. And the truck he was driving in the afterlife, oh my heavens, we thought that Chevrolet pickup, because it was a brand new model for next year, it could fly, and it was fluorescent, and he was just like Santa Claus, except he was driving this spectacular Chevrolet pickup. Boy, what a plug that would make for Chevrolet. You know, your daddy's in the afterlife in a Chevrolet. So I just thought I'd share that Labor Day story with you. With that, I'll move on to the next portion of our meeting. I don't know how I'll introduce our general evaluator, George Lund. And he said he is going to be here for the meeting. He's going to do nothing. He's going to try to stay cool. He's going to make some fried chicken and potato salad. Not very festive in my house, but actually George gave me the idea for, I think he's into some comfort foods. So fried chicken is one of them. And of course, ice cream is as well. Please welcome our general evaluator, D. George Lund.
Thank you, everyone. Great meeting today, even though we didn't have a speaker. We started on time. Our president introduced the guests, didn't Terry's. She read the mission statement, which I think is always a good idea because it lets us know why we're really here. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback on my end. Again, dues are due. You can either mail me a check or do Zelle, except for Cynthia, of course. Peggy, great job today. Great information from each of the participants that you ask a question of. Labor Day, yeah, is kind of the unofficial end of summer. That's what they always say. When I was a kid, we started school right after Labor Day. Now they start back in August, which is kind of strange, but I guess they get more breaks, so they need to do that. Jennifer, great job today with the poem. It was very enjoyable. And I think it showed everyone in the club that you have options when you're the Minute Master. You can do an educational moment, a poem like Jennifer, a joke, an inspirational moment. So there's a lot of different options that you have when you're Minute Master. So great job today. We'll get a report from Nicole. Jennifer, I thought your topics were a good discussion today, and you shared it with Francesca. We had a lot of interaction, a lot of people sharing information, which was good. And I really appreciated that. So at this point, I'll ask Nicole for a Wordmaster Grammarian report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. A lot of interesting words today. So I'll start with the filler words. Jennifer giving her grace, but at the same time, because of the filling in, and because we didn't have a speaker, she had 4 so's and 8 uhs. Peggy had 9 ums and 4 ands. Francisca had 1 and Nicole had 1 There were some very interesting words used today. George, as far as the word of the day, George used the word once. Cynthia used the word once. Francesca used the word once. And Etta used the word once. Jennifer used the word once. The words that were very catching for me. Although this one may not be in the dictionary, but Jennifer said city-ish. So my spell checker tells me that's not a word, but I'm giving Jennifer credit anyway. George used the word enjoyable. Peggy used clear cutting, perfect kindling, and Dr. Camp. Francesca used sincere panic, near and dear. And Etta used arduous. That is my report, Mr. General Evaluator.
Good job. Thank you, Nicole. Good job. Good job. Well, that kind of ends my section of the meeting. Again, I thought it was interesting that we were able to get around not having a speaker. I think that's one of the things that as we move forward as a club, we need to think about having a pocket speech and also try to ensure that we have 2 speakers every week so that we can fill in the time a little bit longer. So I'll return control to Jennifer, our president. Oh no, to Peggy, the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Well, I've enjoyed this meeting. If anything, I liked everybody's responses, and it made me think about things like comfort foods, camping, and of course, glamping. There's one key ingredient to everybody's glamping is a chandelier, preferably a solar one. I have one like this in my backyard where you just take those dollar store flares and plunk them into the light sockets on a chandelier. So yeah, I guess I will be glamping at home because it's too much work to pack that kind of stuff around. If you're going to have the luxuries, you might as well do it in your backyard. We got a pool there and everything. You got electricity. It should work. So with that, I just found out that I have Labor Day off yesterday. So that's nice. That's a nice surprise. So I guess we'll end this meeting a little bit early because it's a holiday and it's Friday and everybody wants to go party and have fun. So with that, I'll turn the control of the meeting back over to our president, Jennifer Smith.
Thank you, Peggy. You know, some of the things that we talked about today were great ideas for your research speeches. So think about some of the things that we did talk about. Cynthia, I have your vision board ready for you to have that Corvette. So that blue, what was it, midnight blue type paint. And then the forest fires, I'm already thinking of the nudist colony. So yeah, I thought it was great. Etta, do you have any comments?
It was a fun meeting. I always like coming here.
Thank you. It was fun today, even though we didn't have a speaker and we got to know each other. So that was great. I like that. All right. And then Amy, I know you can't talk. I think you're driving as well. So be safe out there because of the smoke. And hopefully we can see your face and have you participate next week. Are there any, Nicole? She has a comment.
I would like to request to the group, when there is not a speaker, I would like to be challenged to have a pocket speak and present.
We will say Nicole speak. Is that Nicole or all of us?
Me, myself.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right. I like that. Anybody else? Any announcements and or brag bucks? I can't believe we have nothing to brag about. I just want
I can brag
I have
about
a 3-day
either
weekend.
side
Come
here.
on. It's fun going camping, leaving in a few minutes if Jennifer gets to my mom's house ASAP, which I doubt that. You guys know Jennifer. Okay. We're supposed to leave at 9 o'clock. Do you think she'll be at my mom's house at 9? No, because she hasn't even packed her clothes.
Right.
the trailer is packed. Number one. It's in good shape.
Don't put all your stuff in the trailer.
We will be looking for pictures from both of you. Jennifer, I'm looking on Facebook, and Cynthia, I'm looking when you come back, and so show them to us. And I'm jealous. That's the only thing I'm jealous about not being in Vegas, because I'm not going with you guys. So.
I don't know what happened to my background. It's weird. So yes, we will definitely share the pictures. I am super excited. I cannot wait. Just remember that we have the enrichment education night on the 11th. It's turned out to be really successful. I don't know which topics we are going to have, but it's always a fun time and educational time. So definitely there's always something about pathways and about leadership. So come and join and social media. And then, yeah, go ahead, Etta.
I saw something about book publishing. That sounds interesting to me.
Is that going to be in the education?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, good. So, and that's, it's becoming very popular with a lot of our district Toastmasters are publishing books. So it's, Toastmasters is a whole lot more than just public speaking. All right, and then Cynthia, do we have next week's schedule? You're on mute.
Let me share screen.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, here's the schedule. Francisca, since you did not do Toastmaster last week, would you like to do Toastmaster? I know you didn't put it for your one of the things you want to do, but it's an option for you if you want to or not.
That's fine. I need to get outside my comfort zone.
Okay, Toastmasters, Francisca, Jennifer, Word Master, I am Minute Master, George, Topics. Jennifer, you're speaking. You said the 10th or the 17th, Jennifer, so I put you the 10th, give me the 17th. Lori is evaluator, I'm the general evaluator, and George is a timer.
Cynthia, will you send me that spreadsheet so I can update the website?
I will.
Thank you.
Okay, Nicole, since you're not going to be here next week, you are Toastmaster on the 17th. Yeah, I know you didn't put that also. Are you okay with that?
I'm just going to go ahead and say yes. And so.
Okay. All righty.
Nice job, Cynthia.
And you guys see the blue squares. The 24th, we'll have 2 speakers. So I need an evaluator on that and a timer for the 17th. That's a couple of weeks from now. So think about it. That's my schedule for
Am I not going to be here on the 17th?
Yeah,
No.
you're going to be here. But you know, because you didn't put timer. That's why.
Oh, I can be timer.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And I can be timer.
She's 2 weeks in a row. That's why I didn't put you timer. You're 2 weeks in a row, Jennifer.
I could do it.
Okay.
To evaluator number 2, I can do that as well. So
She needs to practice.
I need the practice.
Okay.
I can do one of those roles if you want.
Peggy?
Yeah.
50?
50?
Alrighty, that's her schedule. Unless you want to speak, if we get a speaker, the second speaker.
Cynthia,
What?
you don't have anything for Peggy on the 17th? Is she not going to be here?
I'll be here. I can speak.
Okay.
Speaker meeting.
An evaluator.
I can evaluate. Since timer's my only role.
You have to time your evaluator too, Jennifer.
Well,
Your
I have to
evaluator.
remember to time evaluators.
Peggy, I'm sorry, because I just realized. Because I counted people. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I think we're good. Let's do 4 weeks of scheduling.
Well, wait, So she's not on the 10th, so give her a word master.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't do that, Peg. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I probably didn't reply or something or didn't do my
All right, good job.
Alrighty, we're good. Alrighty, there's a schedule for the next 3 weeks. I will also send out the one for next month, next week. Okay?
All right.
Alrighty, that's it.
Okay, guys, on that note, look at that. No speaker, and we were still able to fill up this meeting. So great job. And we will see you next Friday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Take some time off, and we will see you next week.
Be safe.
Be safe.